Hello, this is Craig Resnick coming to you from the 30th Annual ARC Advisory Group Orlando Forum. I have a special guest today, Gould, who's the Chief Technology Officer of Inductive Automation. Gould, thank you so much for being here today.
Good to be here.
And we always thank Inductive Automation as one of the primary sponsors of our forum for many years, and it's been a great relationship, and we certainly hope that the forum is off to a great start for you. And let's start talking about some of the different trends in the market.
Sounds good.
And with the trend of decoupling hardware and software along with software-defined automation solutions, which of your company's offerings are really designed to support, the decoupled hardware and software-defined automation?
Yeah, we find this trend of software-defined automation sort of gratifying because the idea of decoupling layers has been part of Ignition since day one. We don't exactly position Ignition as an SDA product because I think SDA is really more about the control plane, and Ignition sort of sits right above the control plane layer. But where we do engage with this idea more directly is through the Open Process Automation Forum. And here at the show, you'll see that COPA is here, and you'll see that they have the COPA 500, which is sort of the first sort of tangible implementation of this idea. And we're really happy to have Ignition be the preferred HMI vendor for the COPA 500. So we're pretty excited to see these ideas take root. Ignition has been platform agnostic, operating system agnostic, hardware agnostic from the get-go. So it's exciting to see these ideas take hold throughout the rest of the industry.
Yeah, and they've certainly been taking hold. And certainly that contributes a lot to your success, which brings my next question, which is, based on some of your accomplishments in 2025, which were numerous, what are you looking forward to in 2026 as far as maybe some new value propositions for your customers?
Yeah, you're right. So in 2025, our big release, software release, was Ignition 8.3, and we're definitely looking to continue to build value through that release. So I think 8.3 helps deliver value in probably three important ways. First is just it has more functionality right out of the box. So that allows customers who are starting new projects with Ignition to get started and not have to try to piece together so many pieces. So whether it's new device drivers to connect to more device types, or built-in vector drawing tools, or the introduction of the new core historian, there's just more functionality delivered right away with Ignition. Another way would be the way we're helping enterprises deal with the complexity of deploying and managing systems at scale. So Ignition 8.3 is built around the idea of its configuration being Git compatible, it being Docker or Kubernetes compatible through an open API and open configuration file storage. So what this allows is IT departments can now manage their OT software deployments in a similar way that they can their IT deployments through processes like GitOps or DevOps. And the third one is more internal facing. In 8.3, we cleared away a lot of our own technical debt, and that's going to allow us to build new features more quickly. And to support that, as we go into the future, we're actually changing our release cadence to introduce a new major release annually. So that'll help us deliver new features more quickly to customers.
So we'll look forward to 8.4 at some point, right?
I think we're going to change the versioning scheme, but yeah, that's the idea.
And obviously, common denominator topic for a number of years certainly is cybersecurity. It's obviously one of the biggest challenges, whether in automation, enterprise markets. So what's your company's latest cybersecurity, services, solutions, and partnerships?
Yeah, the way I think about security is sort of a layered approach. So, for us, the nightmare scenario would be us being some sort of supply chain attack for all of our customers, right? And so it really starts with us securing inductive automation systems as a whole. So whether that's training all of our employees, or going through auditing procedures, or using external pen tests, we focus a lot of our effort on the security of the company. And then there's the security of the product itself. And so we use we're ISO 60443 certified, which is all about the secure software development lifecycle. So as we develop Ignition, we're baking security into the product throughout the whole software engineering design phase. We use static analysis on our dependency chain. We use a product called Black Duck for that. And we do formalized threat modeling processes for all the new features we add. And then, of course, we add security features into the product so that our customers can deploy secure OT systems. So whether that's, using encrypted connections or secure defaults so that you have to take an action to make something insecure, publishing a hardening guide. We're always looking at adding new security features to Ignition, and we recently added secrets management so that our customers can have better control over the kinds of credentials and secrets that are embedded into their product. So yes, I agree. Security is always top of mind for us. And one of the things we do that I don't think gets talked about enough from a security point of view is we put a lot of effort into making sure Ignition is backwards compatible and that the upgrade procedure is smooth and reliable so that people can trust their patching procedures. I think one of the most common types of security vulnerabilities in the OT space comes from systems that people are terrified to patch these old systems, right? Because upgrading them is too frightening because people are worried things are going to break. So we put a lot of emphasis just on a smooth upgrade path so that our customers can stay patched and up to date.
Yeah, well, when you talk about that, I always think of Inductive Automation as a company that's always prided itself on innovation, coming up with new products and processes that it's obviously how important that is to compete today. And so how do you, as the CTO of Inductive Automation, encourage the company to, continuously innovate, and subsequently, are you able to really increase your R&D budget at these times?
Good question. So we've always been in the, I think, fortunate position of having more ideas than the capacity to execute on them. And I think part of that comes from how we have such an engaged audience, right? We have just so many enthusiastic controls engineers who use our product and love to give us feedback. So it's really more of a prioritization problem. We don't have to sort of specifically look for innovation. It's just all around us. And when we think about prioritizing and understanding all the different sort of vectors of influence when it comes to innovation, I think about it in three ways. So you've got top-down innovation. That would be somebody like me within the company making some big strategic play for the product. You've got outside in, which would be customers or integration partners giving us feedback. They're out there in the field using the product every day. They've got lots of ideas. And then we've got bottom up, which is my software engineering team coming up with their own ideas because they're the closest to the technology, and oftentimes they have the best vantage point to sort of see where the product should go next. So we try to balance those three vectors, although I would say we are primarily a bottom-up innovative group. And we're definitely increasing our R&D budget right now. We're hiring a lot of software engineers, both senior and entry level, which I think is maybe a bit against the grain right now. I think a lot of companies are not hiring entry-level software engineers because of AI. I think they're going to regret it.
Absolutely.
In a few years when they're looking around and saying, hey, where'd our pipeline of senior engineers go? And I fully expect them to be AI augmented, but I want humans in those seats using that AI.
Absolutely critical to certainly let AI be a tool rather than,
100%.
And they let the people manage the agents rather than the other way around.
That's where innovation comes from. Yep.
And I think part of that is, how that's why we've always been a big proponent of having great ecosystems, how it's important it is to have a great ecosystem to, be able to compete globally and certainly in a very competitive market. So share your thoughts and the process you go through as regarding, developing the inductive automation ecosystems and partnerships.
Yeah, our ecosystem is crucial for us, largely because we stay so focused on the platform of Ignition, and Ignition is so horizontal, right? We don't get super deep into, developing vertically specific features. And so we have over 5,000 control systems integrators who are signed up through our program, and they are the ones who are then taking our very horizontal platform and applying it in a myriad of different industries, and they really form a big ecosystem. But more formally now, we have just introduced our technology ecosystem program. And what this is what we found is that there was a bunch of companies out there, whether they're module authors writing modules for Ignition using our open SDK, or whether they're just other software or solutions vendors in our space that have created some sort of first-party formal integration with Ignition. We needed a place for them to be able to showcase their solutions and a way for customers to be able to find those more specific vertically oriented solutions. And so that's been a really popular program that we just started up, I think about 4 or 5 months ago. We've got 74 companies who've signed up and are showcasing their solutions there. So having a vibrant ecosystem is crucial because we like to stay lean and mean, right? We want to focus on Ignition, keep Ignition really horizontal and make it the universal OT integration platform.
Yeah, well, it's a good thing you've moved your ICC user event to the Sacramento Convention Center to take it, because you have not only to have double your attendance, but also just the size of your ecosystem to support their presence.
Yeah, it was remarkable this year. It was really gratifying seeing how many companies showed up.
You guys have always prided yourselves on being on the edge. And speaking of the edge, of course, the edge, the whole topic of edge is certainly a hot topic at this forum. What types of edge devices and solutions is Inductive Automation offering? Say the edge for control, AI platforms, and as well as other solutions that enable the edge to cloud communications.
Yeah, edge absolutely remains hot for us as well. And we have Ignition Edge. So Ignition comes in 3 major flavors, right? There's standard Ignition, which is typically installed on-prem. We've got Ignition Cloud, and then we have Ignition Edge. And the interesting thing about our approach is that all 3 of those products actually share the same code base. And so what that means is not only are they highly technologically incompatible with one another because they share the exact same code base, it also means that if you're a systems integrator, if you're an engineer, and you're investing your time into learning the Ignition platform, the expertise that you gain is applicable across the entire stack of the OT world now. So the same types of design techniques, engineering techniques you use in Ignition Cloud, Ignition Standard On-Prem, and Ignition Edge, your expertise is useful everywhere. And Ignition Edge is, of course, cross-platform, so you can install it on some sort of IPC, but you'll also find it pre-installed on every Opto 22 Groove Epic, for example. Every single one that they ship has Ignition Edge embedded in it. Also, because we are, container compatible, you'll find us on edge orchestration fleet platforms like Zadata, who's here at this show. You can find Edge there. So there's just a myriad of ways to deploy Ignition at the edge, which you're absolutely right, is very popular. Once it's there, it's commonly used for data acquisition. We've got a bunch of built-in device drivers. You can take that data, model it, contextualize it in our tag system. It's very popular to either store it locally for 35 days or to send it upwards and sync it via MQTT. We also have Ignition Edge Panel, which allows you to add a local control HMI if that's what you need at the edge. So very popular offering.
I can imagine, because that's really the perfect hybrid solution to having local to cloud, and I think that really does a great job.
Yeah, it's a good architecture.
Well, Kyle, thanks so much for your time today. It's great talking to you with Kyle Gould, who's the Chief Technology Officer of Inductive Automation. And thank you again.
Thanks, Craig.
And I'm Craig Resnick, coming to you from the 30th Annual ARC Advisory Group Orlando Forum. Thank you so much today for listening. Have a great day. Thank you again.